Geltrude back with us. And Dan, in case you don't know, besides being a very good investor and investment advice, he's an accountant by training. So he knows where all the numerical bodies are buried. It could be very helpful to have. The trouble is, Dan, there aren't too many guys like you today. We're running out of them. And that's causing a whole series of problems. People looking for accountant help, to get their taxes and all. What's going on?
Yeah, it's really a big problem, Neil. And this problem has existed for some time. But recently, Lindsay Ellis from the Wall Street Journal has been writing about this. Yeah. And it's now getting a lot of attention. To start with, in the last 2 years, you've had 300,000 accountants and auditors leave the profession.
Why?
Working too much, Neil. Now, why are they working too much? Because there's a lot of regulations changing, a lot of responsibilities, deadlines, all those things. And the pipeline of people going into accounting is really, really thin. So now you have a double whammy. You have people leaving and you don't have enough people coming in. So what happens?
But the pay is great. You guys are very sought after. So what triggered this downgrowth?
Well, it really started during the pandemic for some reason, is really when there became a real shortage. And I think what happened was we had a lot more reporting responsibilities with all the government-related programs that were going on that required filing on top of our regular work. Well, if you can't find enough people, Neil, what happens? Those people have to work more hours and they get burnt out.
And you guys are on the hook for what you stamp your approval on, right?
Yes, we are.
And then those rules are constantly changing, getting up to you. You have to be up on all of that, right?
Yeah, there's a lot more to it than just doing the work.
Right.
There's a lot of education behind what we do, Neil. Now, keep in mind, the accounting profession is driven by two things: quality and timeliness. So here's why this is a big threat, what I would say, and I'm not exaggerating, the financial system. So now all these public companies have SEC filings, right, in which investors are relying on that information. If there's not enough accountants to be able to deliver quality and timeliness, once that credibility of those numbers starts to become questioned, Neil, now you have what I would say, a time bomb that goes off to say, can we rely on this anymore?
Can we? Can we rely on the group of accountants we do have right now? If it's shrinking, I mean, who are we left with?
Well, here's what's happening. Firms that simply cannot find enough accountants in the U.S., particularly the larger firms that are doing this public work, you know what they're doing, Neil? They're using the international solution, primarily India, but all around the world, where they have the work being done there to help. And also keep in mind, they're on a 12-hour difference. So now these accounting firms become a 24-hour operation, because while we're sleeping here, they're working around the world.
A lot of them going the software route. And said, I can let software do it. I don't need the accountant.
But that is true. Yeah. Technology is getting better, so you can rely on that. But when you talk about planning and strategy, the real value of what accountants do, Neil, that's the human factor, and that's got to be there. And that's where the real squeeze is.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Well, we need guys like you, Dan.
I agree, Neil.
Yes.
In more ways than one.
Yes, absolutely. And, accountants are very serious folks. Not, it's a great reputation to have. You've got a great sense of humor and all that stuff, so maybe we need to just jazz them all up.
Well, if you're indicating that perhaps I should be the poster boy for the profession and that would draw more people in, I think you're onto something.
I think so, too. I think you're on something myself. But Dan Geltrude, he knows of what he speaks. And it is a real problem right now. I have a lot of very good dear friends who are accountants, and some of them don't have his stand-up delivery quality, but they are very much in demand. So they can kind of call their own shots here. But without them, boy, it'd be a very, very different world. Just imagine doing all this on your own. Just think of that after this.